And we are live with Machine Gun Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Good, mate. Good. How you going?
Yeah, good, man. This is probably the longest I haven't seen you. It's like almost been a full day because I'm waiting for this truck of gear to rock up. But I thought it'd be fun starting with you and Steve, just going through the members and coaches and have a little chat to them about martial arts and fitness. And I think the best way to start these things is the origin story, because I mean, if we're looking to help more and more people get involved in martial arts and fitness, what people are really interested in is how people made it from zero to hero, or how they went from disorganized to organized, or weak to strong, or unfit to fit, So, I mean, the less you're starting with, the more scary it is to get in. So give us a little bit of a history on Joseph Gabiola and what he was like before he became the machine gun.
Alrighty, let's get into it. So, pre-machine gun, I was probably your pretty standard, like 18, 19, 20-year-old, just out of high school, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Having a lot of trouble with that, just trying different things, not really enjoying any of it. And I think like that lack of finding something that I enjoyed led me to, drinking, party, and all that type of bad behaviors that I think are pretty easy to get involved in when you don't have any type of purpose. You see a lot of people go down that road. So I was doing that. And then doing that for a while, like you put on weight, you just, there's not good results that come from that type of lifestyle. And for me, I don't know, I wasn't really comfortable with that. Like as I would put on weight, I didn't like myself. I didn't like the person I was becoming, all these type of things. Because I'd always been kind of pretty athletic, involved in sport, that type of thing. And now
How big were you, Joe?
I got to 103. I got to 103 kgs, which I'm about 6'3". So I think I held it not too bad if I had clothes on. But obviously, you take the shirt off, and then you can't really hide after that. I was pretty thick. So I think out of desperation, I just got to the point where I remember I went on holidays to Bowen once, and me and Amanda went to the beach, and I was just so miserable that I didn't want to take my shirt off and go outside. We're at this great beach, we've got a nice hotel room, and I just didn't want to go and get in the water because I was so self-conscious and almost on the point of depressed about the last few years. So I remember thinking that was New Year's. We went there, and I was like, all right, as soon as we get back to Townsville, I'm going into the gym. I'm just going to commit and just get this done. I just need to get stuck in and make a change.
And I think now you fight at about 75 kilos. So I mean, that's a pretty big deal, right? 23 kilos isn't hard to, is very hard. Sorry. It's very hard to lose. It takes time. It's not done in a 6-week boot camp. It's not done in a 12-week boot camp, and if you want to keep it off, it's done with a sustainable lifestyle change. What were some of the things that helped you lose it? And what do you think was the ticker for you actually deciding that you were going to change your lifestyle long term?
Okay, so the things that helped me lose it: martial arts training. So I just went into a gym, got a membership, and started training every day. It helped me that I was a super big UFC martial arts, and I'll add Joe Rogan fan on there as well. So I'd say watching the Joe Rogan experience and hearing him talk about martial arts was probably hearing him talk about people having no purpose and then doing martial arts. I think that really drove me to go and do it. So that commitment to my training, which was easy because I enjoyed it. I really liked the martial arts training. And then the diet was something that took a little bit of time. I had most success with a low carb kind of diet. I realized I was just eating way too much sugar and stuff. This is pretty much at the same time that keto was really popular. So you'd find everywhere all this information about how bad sugar is for you. So I kind of realized, all right, let's get rid of the sugar. Let's just focus on more healthy proteins and fats. And I basically did a super, super strict low-ish carb diet for 2 years. Literally didn't eat any chocolate, sweets, or anything for 2 years. And then after that, I kind of started to get those things back into my diet. Once I found I had a bit of control and I was better with my habits, I started to reintroduce those things. But I think I was like in such a desperation mode that those first 2 years, I was like the most strict and disciplined person that I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, and I think keeping it simple works, right? Like, hey, I'm going to move, I'm going to have some fun. And you just eliminated things that you knew were bad for you and you knew caused excess energy. And then even without having a huge amount of education, you still got really usable results, which is exactly why I'm happy for people to do keto and intermittent fasting and all these different things, low carb, no carb. I've literally tried everything. But eventually, when you hit plateaus or you want really good performance to get at fight weight, that has to develop just a little bit more. And you have to understand, I suppose, from a coaching perspective, which you're a coach now, you have to understand why those things work so you can better help people achieve the results they want. How has that nutrition plan developed for you now?
So it was actually when I went to Courage that I started to realize that the low carb wasn't working for me anymore. I can actually vividly remember a couple of sessions where I was in the cage and it was like maybe 40 minutes into a session and I was just feeling so like not gassed, but just no energy. Like it wasn't like I was huffing and puffing, but I just felt like I was just so lethargic. And like that would happen a couple of times. And I don't know if I talked to someone about it or I just started to think maybe I need to start putting more carbs into my diet now that because I'd always kind of known that keto was not the best for performance, that you need carbs to perform. But I was kind of just too stuck in that mindset of like, carbs bad, carbs weight gain, just no carbs, no carbs, no carbs. But then when I started to feel it in my training, I thought, all right, let me experiment with putting some carbs back in. And that's when I started to slowly move towards the diet that I eat now. But it definitely was a slow process from that point, even maybe a year or two to get to the point where I am now.
Man, I'm really careful now. I suppose the more you know about nutrition and even martial arts, sometimes a lot grayer the answers become. You know, you're like, well, maybe that isn't the best technique or the best way for you to do things right now. But, you know, like, I mean, if it's working for you, keep doing it. But, you know, like there's a lot to it. What do you think changed in your character? Would you, because I mean, you would say now that you're not the same Joseph Gabiola that you were at 103 kilos. What were some of the upgrades that you made to your character, your mindset, and your belief systems that took you from, you know, like fat drunkard to Muay Thai champion? You know, because I often believe until people are willing to take ownership for some of the bullshit stories, that they'll never man up to making mistakes or the self-destructive behavior that they're on. What helped you with that?
I think so. I kind of, for a long time, I thought that I was a super lazy person. But then I think with like doing martial arts and that type of thing, I've learned that I'm not really lazy. Like I can put in hard work. It's just that I need to. It's like convincing yourself that the hard work, you know, is going to be worth it. That's the thing that I struggled with. I'd see hard work and I'd be like, oh man, I would never see the reward on the other side. I would just see the work. Whereas now when I see hard work, I know what's on the other side of it. So I'm like, all right, let's get this done. And I enjoy it. Like I've kind of embraced the training now, even though I know it's going to be hard. I know, you know, I'm going to struggle, but I know the reward on the other side has, you know, it's going to be worth it. Yeah, it's good. It gives me purpose for sure. So I think that shift in my mindset was the biggest thing for me, like just having that shift away from running away from the obstacles, like going towards the challenge, always going towards the challenge is something I always try to remind myself. And I think it's because I had success with that the first time, like going towards the training and the diet to lose the weight. That's what gave me, you know, the initial results. So ever since then, whenever some type of speed bump or challenge comes up, I try to go towards that.
I mean, that's actually, it's a brilliant lesson from from martial arts, actually. Like, go towards the danger. Like, if you keep backing out, you're always going to be under attack. So sometimes it's like, if that attack isn't going to end, you need to go towards the danger. It's one of those wonderful philosophies that really moves into your life when you understand that actually the resistance is the way, the danger is the way, like the risk is the way. Like having that tough conversation with yourself is real important. Like just avoiding things in general, just things get worse. So some action is always needed for change. Like you have to get it go, otherwise it just disintegrates. And I think it's a really, really important and special lesson that you're able to pass on there. So like we fixed food. Obviously the training was fun. I think we personally do things a little bit different, and I think it's great that you've trained at a bunch of different clubs now and traveled down to Brisbane and whatnot and done a little bit of training down there. What's one of the things that you think that myself or the team did different that you really liked when you got to Courage?
Well, in terms of the actual training, the thing that we have that I think is like our biggest strength is just our structure. Just having everything systemized the way we do just makes sure that all the skills that we want or need to develop, we fit them into the system. And we find a way to deliver that, whether it's every 6 weeks or every 12 weeks, however long it takes us to get through. I think some gyms and coaches and whatnot, they get into that thing where it's like, all right, just show up, and they've got a couple of drills they like to do, and there's it's not systemized to the point where it's like, all right, we're doing leg kicks, here's our leg kick system. We're doing slipping, here's our slip system. That seemed to be the thing that I really enjoyed from the start.
Yeah, it's important. And, it's important just for your training too, where it's like, like if you're just trying to get fit and strong, whether you're an athlete or recreational trainer, it's like commit to those 2 sessions a week that you're going to do, and commit to your nutrition plan for the time that you're going to do it, and plan the bad foods that you're going to eat and everything. Then that way, at least you own the process and you own the results at the end, So if you don't do that, you really you're wishing and hoping. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me that people wouldn't have some kind of plan or structure to everything. Now, the best part too is, and this was something that I learned from jiu-jitsu, it was including creativity in that plan, where it's like, if we did leg kicks defense that night on the pads or drilling, then we create a game that involves heaps of kicking each other in the legs. So you get to practice it under a limited set of skills. And I'm happy to share that system with everyone, like get amongst it. I'm sure there's a bunch of other gyms or already doing it. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that before I have one more question?
Yeah, so that's like the thing with the training that I think is the the biggest thing that I've found, just being able to nurture those skills the way we do through the systems and the games and whatnot. But outside the training, it's something that's, I think you don't really notice. I notice more since I've been in a coaching role, but just the way that like the team culture has been developed. And you notice it more when you talk to maybe other coaches or people at other gyms. So like at our gym, we have a really good team culture when it comes to training, sparring, socially. Our culture is really good. And I think for people that have only ever trained at Courage, they'll probably take that a little bit, like that's just normal at Courage. That's just how things are. But at a lot of other gyms, you have problems with sparring and egos and these type of things. And just as the head coach, just constantly, now that I'm in that position, trying to help coach and keep that team culture going as well, seeing that it actually does take a lot of work and reminding of people of what our values are and the way things run at our gym. So the way you've developed that over the years, I think, has definitely been one of the best factors of courage for me.
Well, it takes a lot of effort too. Like, people have no idea how much effort it is to kind of like lock in a bunch of those things and things that you say repeatedly over and over and over again. And people that are regulars at the gym probably like, Ian, I've heard it before. Shut your mouth. But team culture is really super important to me, just because I've been a whole heap of other places, and the way I can best help people, I think, is through a value system, and structure. Because, like, I don't want Joey fighting like me. I want Joey fighting better than me. Like, I don't want anybody grappling like me. I actually want people to create their own grappling persona and understand the laws of combat and develop their own set of skills towards that. So that's really important to me. And I actually probably spend more time on that than technique, and have systems and things. And it's like, like, if we play stuff enough, our technique's going to get better. We're all on the path. It's going to get better. But if we don't all have a set of shared values, it's going to cause a lot of problems. And sometimes that means calling your teammates out for bullshit. Hey, man, what are you doing rocking up 10 minutes late to sparring all the time? Do you want to fight or not? We're already 10 minutes in, like, why are you 10 minutes late? Oh, I had to work this morning. It was like, okay, did you just finish work 10 minutes ago? What time did you finish work? Okay, so you've had 3 hours to get ready. That's bullshit. Like, people have got to be willing to call each other on poor behavior as well, and be like, oh, that guy spars with me, he's a dickhead. What do you mean he's a dickhead? Hold on a second. Pull up. Did you ask that guy to spar lighter with you, and did you give him the correct energy? Because if you haven't even had that conversation with that guy, you can't fix it. And the trouble is, it takes someone like yourself or myself, the coach or assistant coach, to jump in and force the conversations. So it's definitely important, because especially with CTE and everything else, if it's going to take you 10, 15 years to get like really, really good, like world champion good at fighting, let's look after our brains. Let's train smart. Like, I think that's a big point. Now, the last one is everybody's worried about training the first time. Maybe you were, but like, maybe I was a little bit. Some people more anxious than others. Who do you think martial arts and fitness is perfect for, and how would you suggest that they get over the hurdles to get out there and find a club and invest in themselves on this path?
I think martial arts and fitness is good for everybody. Like, it's such a broad area that I think that there's benefits that any person could take benefits from, young, old, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, whichever one it is. I think everyone could definitely benefit, even if it's just being healthier so you can live, an easier and longer life. Definitely, I think it can benefit everyone. Getting involved that first time, I'd say doing your research helps, like just having an understanding of what you're getting yourself into. Like, okay, what am I going to do here? I'm doing a kickboxing class. Let me look up their Facebook page and, see what it's all about, see what's going on at this gym. It's just, I feel like for me, it's just because I think back to my first day walking into a gym, and it definitely did take a little bit of courage, like thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to walk into this martial arts gym where guys beat each other up. It definitely takes a little bit of courage, but I'd say take that first step, go get involved, pick a good gym, do some research, make sure the gym that you're looking at shares the values that you have. And I think it's easy to figure that out these days just by looking at somebody's social media. If you look at our gym, you look at a couple of posts on the Courage page and you'll kind of get a feel for what we're about. You look at another gym on their social media, you'll start to get that feel of what that gym's about. So I'd say try and find a gym that matches up to your own values. And don't feel bad if you go to a gym and it's not a good fit. I say don't feel bad about trying a class and leaving and trying somewhere else. It's important that you find that gym that's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Such is life, and that's a really good set of advice. I always kind of like offer people generally when they move and they're looking for a place, check someone to train with near home, check someone near work, and check somewhere in between, and pick out of those three. Because it's got to be convenient. It's got to be a fit for you as well. There's a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joey. I think we better end that one.
Beautiful.
Today. It was super good. I'm sure somebody looking to try martial arts again. Congratulations for everything, and you're a great coach, and we love having you on the team as well. And it's been fun watching you develop from student all the way through to champion, and now to one of my coaches, which is awesome because I love having people teaching on the team with me. So thanks a heap for that, brother, and I'll see you in a couple of hours.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me. Catch you later.